Hello, Tungsten Miner here. I am starting a new project, and in fact, a pretty big project, I expect. I'm moving to Dol Amroth. Let's jump in. Okay, so I am here standing at just a little ways away from Dol Amroth, which is in fact at the top of a pretty large hill, which is itself kind of the actual structure, I guess, that is created at Dol Amroth. Not much of a structure, really. It's just kind of a big hill, but that's kind of what you get in this version of Lord of the Rings mod. I have taken the trouble of flattening off the hilltop a little bit. You can kind of get an impression where there was some dirt, although pretty rocky terrain all around, so not exactly. And I have fought off 3 different invasions of the Corsair pirates, and so I have set up a little bit of protection for myself in the form of some Dol Amroth banners on gold blocks, which means I've got a pretty decent radius of protection. So you can see the green boxes here define the edges of how far that protection extends. And I've actually got 4 of them. This is just one. The others, of course, are all around the perimeter here. So there's another one and another one over here, one more in the back corner there. So what I'm going to do is build a keep. Very famously in the text of the Lord of the Rings, the Dol Amroth Knights were kind of a big part of the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and this is kind of where the Prince Imrahil of Dol Amroth had his fortifications and his home base. Of course, in the Minecraft version, there's nothing here, so I'm going to mimic what you kind of hear about. I'm going to go ahead and build that structure. I've set myself a waypoint here at the very, very center, and if I turn this back on, you can see this is the one block where all of these overlap. It's kind of hard to see with the sun right in our face here. But if you look at this corner here, you can see this box extends along the green line to that corner, and this box extends along the green line to this corner, so they're overlapping by 1 meter here, and then the same there, the same there. So this center piece is covered by all 4 of my banners, which means I've got protection in all directions for about 65 meters in every direction from where I'm standing. Hopefully that's enough to keep the Corsairs from pestering me too much as I figure out what I want to build up here. I have brought along my traveling trunk, and he's going to keep me company, and with a Perdito enhancement there, that little circle is Perdito augment. It means he's going to pick up anything I should happen to drop. So for example, there he goes. Sort of. Kind of troublesome that it's in a ditch, but let's try that. There we go. So I will have a little bit of work to do to figure out what kind of building I can make up here. My initial thoughts are, if you look around the edges, there's kind of almost terraces built into the hill here. So I'm kind of standing at the crest of one of the terraces, and then there's another one kind of down here that goes around out in that direction. And so we can see it's kind of a biggish one there. There's a little bit of a terrace here. So I'm thinking I will try and smooth out the shapes and try to conform to the existing terraces as much as possible, and maybe have a series of walls that allows me to keep things safe with guard towers. And in each of the guard towers, I'll be able to put up more banners. So I'll be able to extend that influence of protection perhaps a good ways down the hill. And then finally, the last little bit of what I've thought of so far is down this way, actually not too terribly far, about 200 meters, so just out of sight, is the end of the road that we can see here. So that waypoint is just down there. And I will probably wind up making some kind of path that makes it easy to get up here to the keep, once, of course, I have figured out exactly where the keep is going to go. So I think I will probably do a little bit of sketching out of the rough kind of situation here at the top. And I'll be back with you once I've figured that out. Okay, back again. As you can see, I have been hard at work here. So what I have done with the top of the hill here, using my thermostatic harness to show things off, you can barely see the lights on the tops of all of these pillars. So what I've tried to do is to figure out the rooms. So we've got an entrance hall here. We've got a room for, storing armor and equipment and things that are kind of getting ready to go out on an adventure over here. Haven't figured out exactly what that's for, but we'll get there. This will be my main workshop crafting room. This will be a storage room, lots of chests and things for overflow. Over here will probably be for horses, kind of a stable area. Maybe that's what that little room will turn into, and this will be something else, hard to say. And then this will be an infusion room over here. Maybe this needs to turn into something for bottling. But the whole point that I've kind of started with is that I'm going to assume this is going to be a magical keep, which is to say all of those handy-dandy magical things that I have created, I will be able to create and use here. So perhaps down here, this is my alchemy room, and I'll have an arcane levitator, which will zip me up to the next floor. And on the next floor, I'll have all of the infusion stuff, and I'll have a couple of Essentia mirrors and things to move that around. Haven't quite figured that out yet. What I was really trying to do is lay out what's the structure of the room's going to look like. This corner over here, maybe this turns into another room. Maybe that's where the alchemy room is. I was also kind of thinking it might be just an outdoor sort of patio. Same kind of thing over here. This is sort of like coming down a bit. So I might dig this back a ways and kind of have a patio that's out maybe to here. All the rest of this is going to be the wall, the curtain wall that goes around. Probably the first of several layers of curtain wall. Around the banner here will be a tower, and then a wall that extends out this way. And then comes back around over here, another tower. And then this ultimately will be some kind of secondary tower-ish kind of thing, gatehouse-y sort of thing that allows people to come in through here. And then there'll be some kind of stairway that winds its way up to the actual entrance to the keep part itself. And then the wall just kind of carries around. Maybe I've got enough room for a little bit of a farm over there, kind of a kitchen farm. Have a much bigger farm outside of the wall or in the other layers of wall. Again, this might turn into... Whoops, looks like I ran out of potentia. Good thing I wasn't too high up. This might turn into... here, let's jump up here. This might turn into some kind of outdoor space, maybe a place to keep animals, maybe a place to keep a garden, maybe it's a patio. Haven't really decided yet. What I'll probably wind up doing, though, is having basement level rooms that all have external entrances inside of this area here. So maybe there's like a big door here that goes into some kind of corridor that goes right through the hill and then has rooms on either side which have windows peeking out. So part fortress, part hobbit hole. We'll see what winds up happening here. But I think that's kind of a good starting point for now. What I have also been doing is going around and gathering up a lot of this Gondor brick from the ruins that have been scattered around here in Dol Amroth. Not pulling down like finished buildings that are manned, but there's a lot of rubble and stumps and other kind of unused structures that I've been collecting things from. So I'll probably carry on doing that. Of course, at some point, I'm just going to need to go set up some kind of mine for Gondor rock because I'm just going to need a whole lot of it. And trying to mine it from ruined structures isn't remotely going to do the job. So I will have to take care of that eventually. But for now, I've got at least a little something to start with. So, got a lot more to think about, got a lot more to do, but I think that's it for now. Talk to you later.